Live from the internet, this is the Crystal Chronicles, episode number 27. Today's date is August 24, 2016. My name is Pierre. As usual, I am joined by my two co-hosts. This is Ben and Mark. Hey guys, how we doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing good, Just followed my new favorite Twitter account.
Hopefully it's a lot better than the previous Twitter account that we were following.
No joke, his content is already like 200% better.
It is. In the first minute of its launch, much better.
One would say that the bar's pretty low.
Yeah.
So, as stated by my co-host, Dina has finally launched their official FFRK Global Twitter account.
Yes!
The handle name is FFRK_official.
Nice.
While it is not a verified account, they posted about it in the game, so we know it's good. When I followed them, they had 25 followers, and at the time we're recording, and this is 9:05 p.m. Eastern, they're at 278 followers. So I guess
that's pretty good. Like immediate feedback from community saying yes, we want to follow this content. Hopefully they pick up on that.
Well, hopefully, and at the same time they get us by the eggs, the growth eggs. And they say this: everyone who plays Final Fantasy Record Keeper will receive items based on the total number of followers the official Final Fantasy Record Keeper Twitter account gets during the campaign. 5,000 followers will give everyone 50,000 gil and 1 mithril. 10,000 followers, all that money, 3 mithril and 1 major growth egg. 15,000 followers, 50k gil, 5 mithril, and 3 major growth eggs. So
nice. Get following. This is the first campaign like this that I've actually participated in. So, I believe all three of us now are following the account. We've all pitched in. It's not like the Portal app or anything else.
We're actually paying attention to their Twitter account.
We're going to be watching closely and periodically, not pestering them, but we are going to try and attempt to make contact with this strange alien life form.
Then we called you on it. You decided to take our advice.
We're calling you out.
Yep, we're calling you out. We know you listen to the show because you keep doing what we're saying, so...
Yes, clearly. That's the only conclusion we can draw.
Do you see anything else?
Nope, definitely.
We've got a say in this business. Okay, now back in the reality world. Let's see what we have. There's a couple of announcements. But first off, Ben, we haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. How have you been?
Oh yeah, I'm back. But unfortunately, may not be for long because I'm going to school next week. This is just like Blue's Clues, and. When Steve goes off to college, Ben's going off to college. But don't worry, once I get settled, I'll try and make a reappearance.
I'm sorry, we're old people. Blue's Clues? That's what you just referred to?
Yeah, when Steve had to go to college, so they got the new guy.
No, I have no idea.
I thought he had to go to rehab.
Oh no! I think the intro, the canon explanation was that he went to college.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought he had a nervous breakdown.
No.
Different.
He was a good kid. But I'll try and find a good room in the media lab when I get to school. Hopefully I'll be back as soon as I can, but we'll make the most of today and now.
Until then, we shall be making 2 hours long podcast to honor you.
Yeah, without me to whip you guys into shape. Jeez.
Speaking of which, let's move on to the announcements. We've got a couple things since our last episode. First off, there's the Dissidia Even login bonus. That's 10 days worth of gifts, mithril, whole bunch of money, scarletite, growth eggs, and the angel brooch, which is Bruce brooch.
An accessory you may never use. Hooray!
because
terrible.
it's let me check.
What is it? 30 defense, but it's not non-realm.
Yeah,
Well,
30 non-realm defense. So
listen, for mid-game players, 30 defense is pretty valuable.
Yeah, okay. On that no answer, we'll move on.
Wow.
It's Rosetta It's Rosetta Stone for those of you. Oh no, wait! You can't even use it for that.
No, you can't use accessories.
Yeah, that's right. So
that'd be crazy.
So it's just taking space. Wow. Hey, any of you old timers remember the time where weapon armor upgrade material took inventory space?
You don't remind me of the olden days. You know, we're on to newer and better times.
Couldn't imagine if it was still on today. Anyhow. The other thing, the FFRK fan survey. Choose your top 3 characters on the FFRK website.
Yeah, I need to do this.
You guys participated on that?
No.
No.
I clicked on the link. You have to reply to the thread, basically. So you actually have to type in who your 3 favorite characters are.
What? That's lame.
Who collects that?
It is not like a multiple choice. You actually have to...
That's so stupid. They have the Hall of Rights, all the sprites they need. Just list them down.
Well, more than that, if there's one thing, Dina uses all the Google products like crazy. You're telling me they couldn't bring up a Google pool for this?
Yeah.
Jeez, I blame the poor intern who's going to have to collect all of these answers.
It's gotta sift through every reply.
It's gotta be, or unless there's absolutely no reason they're doing it, as opposed to just, oh, who's your favorite? Yeah,
you know what, guys? You know what they're just gonna do? They're just gonna go critical F, Cloud. Oh, it has the most. Cloud wins.
Yeah.
Cloud, Squall, and Sephiroth. That's pretty much it. So I did go through all 2,000 replies and look through and see who's everyone's character. So, yeah, Cloud, Sephiroth, and Squall. That's your top 3.
You are right, though. There's no reward announced with this, so what do you know?
Maybe it's like gauging interest in the future. Like, oh, people will be more likely to pull in banners of their favorite characters.
All right, just for kicks, let me see who's right now. Like, I'm gonna call out the last 3. Answers. So Quartz an hour ago said Cecil, Terra, and Bats. Dark Gold. Oh, that's a given. An hour ago, Dark Golbez said Terra, Golbez, and Kefka. Nice. You didn't see that one coming.
You know, I think maybe Terra.
Good selections.
Good selections. 6.
2 hours ago, Guest said Cloud, Zach, and Agrias.
Zach. Yep. Zach's a freaking jobber. But
okay, 2 more just for kicks. 3 hours ago, Moto said Cecil, but not which one. Terra and Lightning, and last one 3 hours ago.
Lightning.
Guest said Squall, FFT4HOL Brand, or Brand something, and FF Mobius Eco.
All right.
And someone said
I'm thoroughly disgusted. That's a troll.
Okay, who the hell is supposed to be Chocobo Chick? Oh, it's
Chocobocolina. Or Chocolina from Final Fantasy 13-2. She's like a shopkeeper. She's great. But, God.
Yeah.
So, did you guys do any of this Keeper's Search? The Where's Waldo?
Oh, that's game? You moving on to the other subject. That's Ben at work, right?
Dude, I'm an ace.
Oh, man.
So I opened the link for it, saw the QR code, and then just exited out. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
Okay, let me check. Let me open it up.
I need the instant gratification of being able to select sprites off of a background.
Okay, let's see. What's this? I get exclusive, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Oh, they should do one of those for the loading. Instead of the loading screen, where it's like, scroll through random characters, they should have, like, pick them out. That'd be great. But alas.
That would have been a creative way to implement that instead of going to a website that's difficult to see on your phone. searching for characters.
Yeah.
But I encourage everyone to spend hours doing it so that we don't have to.
Wow, that is incredibly boring. Come on, where are you, Kefka? Attention
Brave
span
review.
fading. And I don't care anymore. Alright, that was it. Let's see. What else?
laughing.
We've got issue resolve. Discord and Harmony boss tip. Apparently, blah blah blah. Something was not right. Then I apologize. We all get one mithril, and nobody realized that anything changed.
Yeah.
And for those of you, which is basically nobody who has time to collect Geisalt greens in the last week or something, great news. There's new major orbs available, and on the menu this week we've got black, dark, and lightning. But since nobody had any time to collect any greens because there's a freaking Orb Fest going on, nobody cares. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the announcements for this week.
Yep, that covers it.
New banner. There's something that I believe was announced exclusively by FFRK Central a couple hours ahead of time.
Nice, we had the scoop.
It's the Keeper's Choice Volume 1 Relic draw that became available a couple days ago. It's 11 pull with chance for various Super Soul Brick relics and one selection relic, kind of like the Mog's Beginner's Choice. And the difference with it is that you can do it up to 5 times.
So I think the theme of all the selectable relics are definitely like support types, you know? Aside from maybe like Locke's Mirage Dive, but even that, its utility would slow. Really, a lot of them are like gain Protect and Haste, gain Shell and Haste. Just lots of like kind of barriers to entry. If you get that, you know? Like it's really good for early players, even more so than like Dr. Mog's Choice. Whereas that you were just getting really high attack weapons. These are kind of like more utility, Protect Dogga plus Haste Dogga type soul breaks.
All right. Have you guys pulled it one or many times?
Yes, I have, and it was very good. I posted on Twitter with the caption just being done, signifying that I was just not going to pull out anymore because my first pull was super good. I got Madouine's Horn, Organics, which is what I was looking for, the Defender, and the Genji Blade. And the one that I chose was Ashura's Rod, or whatever. No, that's not. Whatever the one for Garnet was, because I got a burst soul break, so I said, hey, why not get some more utility with her? So that's all I'm gonna dabble in that banner for. It's really good for new players, but if you're past the phase of needing Protect Gus and Shell Gus and all that, I'd say save your Mithril or you just use it for something else. Did you pull on it at all, Pierre?
Nope. I've been totally out of Mithril for the last couple days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Couple of bad pulls last week has brought me down.
Well, my really only bad pull lately was on a Nightmare discount pull, but even that I'm not too heartbroken about just throwing away 25 Mithril because, hey, I'm getting really great luck on other stuff. Nice.
We do have a couple people that have been playing for some time and still don't have a Medica. And I mean, this is a great banner to pull because you're basic. There's all kinds of Medicas, but you're guaranteed Lullaby Rod, Hymn of the Faith, and that's a great Medica. It's not a Super Soul Break Medica, but of the non-Super Soul Break Medicas, it is a Cura Strength plus major regen Medica. So I mean, it's a good Medica.
And you can always get a
Grand Armor. Grand Armor is there too. So
yeah,
gives you some utility on Ramza. So yeah, definitely good if you're missing pieces.
And you can get Flames of Rebirth with the Ico just off of the Super Soul Breaks that are up for grabs. So that's good too. In terms of Medicas.
All right. And let's move on to something we touched a little bit during the last podcast. It's the DC the Chaos event. I believe you guys were talking pre-show that it's pretty lighthearted.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Definitely a good event to grab some of your favorite protagonists from Final Fantasy series. But the bosses really, just recently the ultimate battles were unlocked, but the only hard battle before that was Sephiroth, and even that, it's just, I found just using Protectka and then using Shout was enough to clear it. What about you, Mark? Have you cleared off the ultimates yet?
Oh, he cleared the ultimates and the submissions from what I can see.
Yeah, I mastered and did the submissions.
I beat Braska's final Aeon because I have so much really good equipment for Titus and beat that submission, but you know me, I shy away from the Ultimate Plus, just not worth my time.
Yeah, pretty much that's why the title of this, my suggested title, I guess I don't know what we'll end up going with, but my suggested title for this episode was Paladin Force, because pretty much if you have Paladin Force, Paladin Cecil's Burst Soul Break, this is the easiest event ever. And if you don't have Paladin Force, you can Roaming Warrior it, and this will be perhaps the easiest event ever. I mean, even if you had Paladin Cecil, you could still probably Roaming Warrior Paladin Cecil's Paladin Force and bring 3 knights, and just triple Paladin Force, and the game would be done. I mean, the ultimate plus. You bring Wool, you bring, Hell Tyro, Paladin Cecil, go in there, and, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, I do have the Apocalypse Shield, so I guess if I... just use Saint's Cross with that, it'll be enough damage. Even without Titus.
Yeah.
But, I just got, maybe this was on Android, I just got the notification that the Nightmare Lucky Relic draw is up, but that was last night. So, bit slow there. I guess they're just so excited about getting the Twitter account ready that they forgot to launch the announcement on Android or something.
So
I got it 7 minutes ago as well, so I think they just completely...
No, I'm not saying for my phone, I'm saying in general.
No, but I've got an iPhone, and I got it, the push notification for the Nightmare Lucky Relic draw 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So are we just kind of skimming over this event? I haven't heard anybody having questions on it. I mean, or do we need to go over the specifics?
I guess we could go over the Ultimate and Ultimate Plus.
Sure. Real quick before that, let's say you just started playing Final Fantasy Record Keeper, and obviously your second move was to subscribe to this podcast. Your reward for this event will be the following characters, along with their usual crap of Merry Crystals and whatnot. That would be Shentoto, Bart, Furion, Luneth, Ysolta, MC1s for Shentoto and Bart, MC2 for Shentoto, and a free MC2 loads. The 9 boss fights are as following: Garland, Kefka, Judge Gabrant, Golbez, Eggstedt, Kuja, Sephiroth. And then you've got your ultimate, that's
Braska's final Aeon.
Thank you very much. That's the Bear Jacked. And the ultimate plus, Cute Couple, Garland, and Golbez hand in hand. If you want to master the Sid mission for the ultimate, bring Titus. Don't be an idiot like I did and go into that fight without Titus. Please don't do that. If you want to master the Sid mission for the ultimate plus, bring Warrior of Light and Paladin Cecil. For this event, the synergy is a little bit messed up. If you only get realm synergy if you bring on certain good guys. These guys
pretty much. If you know the kind of playable cast of Dissidia, the first iteration, just add on Shatola and Ramza, and you've got the full roster. That's Furion, Warrior of Light. I rearranged him. Luneth, Paladin Cecil, not Dark Knight Cecil. He's too mean. Bart's, Terra, Cloud, Squall, Zidane, Titus and Shantoto and Van and Lightning. So yeah, all the protagonists are coming around. This event is great. If you don't have specific realm synergy, anything you equip onto these heroes will gain a synergy boost. Much like Nightmare Shift in the Nightmare Dungeons.
Pretty much.
And with this event, we got Shantoto's record sphere unlocked. And if you take a look at that, if you go down the Sage line, you can get 4-star darkness abilities. So that's pretty cool. Make her a dark mage or a darkness mage like Kuja or Adia. You could get just raw black magic damage, further cementing Shantoto's spot as a magic nuker in your party. And you can get minor silence resistance, which is handy on any mage. So pretty good. Pretty good sphere. Oh, you're right. Purple Nep in chat is reminding me that Kane was part of... Oh, wait. Never mind. Kane was in Dissidia 12. He was in the updated one.
Yeah, but Kane's a whiner, so...
Yeah, he betrays the party at the start. That's why he doesn't get the bonus. So yeah, Shantoto's spheres are pretty good, and her record materia too is a significant boost to black magic damage when equipped with a staff.
There we go.
Yep.
Now, how about you walk us over the 2 Relic Draw banners?
Oh, that's right. Oh, and they're split up by the Keeper's Choice. Wow, that's rude. That looks not very good on the Relic Draw page. But anyway, the first banner features Ragnarok, which is Bartz's Burst Soul Break. Pretty good with lots of elements. Then we have Shantoto's Super Soul Break, which comes with the Jupiter Staff. That is 8 non-magic elemental attacks to random targets and give her enhanced cast for 5 turns. That's pretty good, because if I can remember, whatever Sarah's, I think it was Clockmaster, gave her enhanced cast for only 3 turns. So you definitely get the most out of that kind of boosted magic casting speed. So that's really good. Then we have Warrior of Light's Braveheart, with Radiant Sword, which is 8 physical attacks to all targets and enable each ally to avoid 1 physical attack. So it's pretty much a better Genji Blade, which is essentially AoE and then physical blink. So really good. Cloud's Guise is old, but now that we have fixed Clim Hazard, you have nothing to worry about. Then we have Seeker's Shield on Titus, giving Haste Daga to a character known for it in his game. It's really handy, and that's actually what I got from this banner. And the one thing I was looking for, because Titus is my boy, he is definitely going to be sticking in my party on my A team for a very long time. Oh, and then we have Y'shtola's Medica 2. Very nice, just standard Medica, but can also just remove debuffs, which is really nice. And yeah, that's it for the banner. As of right now, I think this is probably the best banner. Man, we had a really long streak of really good banners, but it's kind of toning down. Not to say that this banner is bad, but as of now, this banner is definitely a 4 out of 5, just because it's the only burst soul break available right now. But yeah, it's got really good stuff too, and for lots of, what can I say, main characters, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's move on to the second banner for this event, which features Lunith's Lust Dagger, which I thought it had an innate status effect, but it doesn't. But it does have pretty good Super Soul Break, 8 ranged physical wind attacks, and raises the party's defense. Pretty good. Furion, Lord of Arms. This was like the first Super Soul Breaks. I think this was available for like a short time in a banner that wasn't for a 2 event. anyway, it's pretty good. Ranged attacks and then high chance to blind. Definitely fits that kind of... I don't know what role Furion plays. He can equip a lot of different kinds of weapons, but I just don't see him used at all. Now, here's a character that's used. Y'shtola's Omnirod, which gives Protectga, Shelga, and Major regen to all allies. Really good staff for a dedicated healer. This is new too. Well, this is, I believe, the only new item on this banner. Helm of Light, which gives crossover, 4 physical holy attacks to 1 target, and then raises the party's resistance. So that's pretty good. Users? The users, thank you. Alright.
Yep, user.
Windburst is old. Exploda is old. And yep. So, I don't know, this banner has some kind of more... has weapons for kind of more niche characters. But definitely, Y'shtola's Omnirod is a high, very good commodity. I don't know what I was meant to say there, but I don't know, this banner is kind of like a 3 out of 5. It's still really good. If you have some stuff on the first banner, I say go with this one, just because variety is the spice of life. But otherwise, stick to the first banner, which is what I will be doing with this 100 gem pull right now. Come on. Oh! I got another Seeker's Shield! Seriously?
You got what?
I got another Seeker's Shield for Titus.
Well, you love Titus.
Well, yeah, but I did... Alright.
Titus and Ben. Hup in... No, okay.
Laughing. Ah! Alright.
Are you complaining about a 5-star relic?
Yeah, I believe
I'm not.
he is. I believe he is.
Especially after what I got on...
So we kind of skipped over the ultimates, but yeah, I mean we kind of hit on them earlier. You can beat them fairly easily. We actually have a video, and maybe Pierre will put it in the show notes, of someone on YouTube. I forget who the YouTuber is, so I apologize. We'll have it on the site. But somebody completing the Ultimate Plus with only Warrior of Light and Paladin Cecil with full Sid Mission Mastery.
Wow.
Using Tyro's Keeper's Tome, Burst Super Soul Break as their roaming warrior to get the mastery bonuses, condition bonuses. But I think Paladin Cecil had Draw Fire and Magic Lore, and Warrior of Light had Memento of Protection and something else. I forget. And then, of course, he had Paladin Force as well. So basically, yeah, he just absorbed, or cure. He had a cure spell on Warrior of Light. So, yeah, basically he protected everybody up, used the Burst Super Soul Break, and then just absorbed damage with Paladin Cecil until he had his Soul Break bar up high enough to spam Paladin Force. So it can be done. This is not the most challenging of ultimates. So moving on to things that are more challenging.
And that would be the Celery Nightmare Dungeon that opened yesterday. Now, I haven't had a chance to get into it, so I'll let you two guys go over the fights, and we'll listen very carefully to your advice.
Sure. Should we go over the 4 intro fights? Or should we jump straight into my boy Tonberry?
Well, I mean, we can just quickly go over the 4 intro fights. They're not very difficult.
Sure.
Make sure you check for conditions.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of use stun, use slow, use, what's the other one? Stop. So make sure you're doing all of that. Use Dispel for Cerberus.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 battles have multiple opponents. You have 2 Gargoyles, 1 Cerberus, obviously. Then you have Final Fantasy VII, the 4, and then you have
the
5.
4. No, not
the 5 little. What are they called?
Mandragoras.
Mandragoras. Yeah, the little fruit
God.
guys.
That was such a dumb fight in 12.
It's a dumb fight in this too because they all have like status effects that they can cast, so it's super annoying. But basically, with the proper mitigation, most of these are just physical except for Cerberus. Everything is physical, so you can leave the magic mitigation at home. So Protectka and Multi-Break, maybe the dance that lowers attack, they're not going to be doing a lot of damage. So I didn't really bring any AoE attacks. I just kind of took down one at a time. I mean, you could bring a Suna if you really need to. I just, I think one of the guys, the weird looking like guy with 4 arms, he can stun, he can paralyze. Not stun, he can paralyze you. So that's super annoying. So at one point, because I didn't bring anything to remove paralysis, at one point I had 2 of my 5 DPS guys paralyzed, but I still won without any problem whatsoever. So,
yeah.
I just, if people are having trouble with them, catch us on Slack chat. We'll help you out. They're not difficult. Just pay attention to the little briefing that Dr. Ma gets you. Other than that, you should be fine. The much more difficult, because it's very gimmicky, is the Tonberry fight. And did you finish that, Ben?
Nope, I'm still working through the intro fights, but definitely plan to finish this one off.
This is a lot of fun.
I've seen some videos on it. It looks cool.
Yeah, so I'll go through this. First of all your Celerity 5 characters have synergy, so make sure you bring them. I brought a full party of Celerity 5 synergy. So some general tips about this boss. The first 3 waves of Tonberries ignore defense. They ignore defense with all of their attacks. Protectka does not help. Sentinel Grimoire does not help. They ignore defense. So max out your attack. They are also immune, not resistant, immune. They nullify any break effect. Super important. The first couple times I went in, I did not pay attention to that. And I realized it after a couple times that they are nulling multi-break. They are nulling all of the breakdowns, all of that kind of stuff. So leave all that stuff at home. Celerity 5 heroes with soul breaks that are area of attack, even regular soul breaks, not super soul breaks, can be super helpful. I brought Zack's airstrike in. That's an AoE attack that does stun to all of your opponents. That was super helpful. Not as powerful as a burst or a super soul break, but still very useful. You can bring Protectka or Sentinel Grimoire for Tonberry King because one of his 2 attacks is based on your defense, does not ignore defense. So you can bring that. For the conditions, you need to stun one of them. You need to slow one of them. You need to stop one of them. Interrupt an action that's stun from dismissal or super soul break. Like Aerial Strike for Zack, or like Lightning's something of the goddess, the burst super soul break. Her Flourish of Steel does interrupt. So make sure that you do that. Try to slow, my suggestion, try to slow and stun the first Tonberry with Tempo Flurry or Steal Time or Dismissal. Or if you took Locke's Rising Dive or Rising Star, that thrown weapon from the Tyro banner that stuns all opponent or slows all opponents, that might be a good one too. So let's get into the phases. I broke this down into 4 phases. I guess you might say there's just 3 phases, but I broke it down into 4 phases. So you start with 1 lone Tonberry moving towards you. Closer he gets, the more damage he does. When he reaches you, he does his kind of super stabby attack, and then he goes back to the back row and it starts all over. You can actually survive his major attack. I wouldn't suggest it. You should kill him before that. But if he hits you with it, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can still keep playing the game. You should slow him, you should stun him, and then kill him. I would hold off. If you brought Shout for this match, I would hold off using Shout because you have a lot more enemies to fight. You're not going to make it through probably with, starting off with the use of Shout. You probably want to wait on that. So phase 2, you have 3 Tonberries appear in the very back row, and you have a 3x3 grid of different colored circles on the ground. They are all very weak to stop where they start. And they only have a mind score of 5, so that means they stay stopped for a long time. For this reason, Halting Rumba is the MVP of this battle. It is, seriously. Unfortunately, it uses Power Orb, Wind Orb, and Dark Orb, which I would like to use for other things, but it is the MVP. Put it on Tyro or Riku, and it's going to stop all three of them in the very beginning of this phase, and that's very helpful. So hold it to cast as soon as you kill the first Tonberry, and then spam it. Just keep hitting it. Maybe wait a couple seconds before you hit it. Don't let Tyro do anything else. Just keep spamming stop during phase 2 and phase 3. If the Tonberries line up, they do Nightmare Chef's Knife, and that is fairly damaging. So try to stop them and take at least one of them down very quickly. As they move forward, in the white circles, they become weak to slow, and in the blue circles, they become weak to stun. If any one of them reaches you, they will hit you, and then they will move to the back row and start all over again. So once you kill the first wave of 3 Tonberries, 3 more Tonberries arrive. This time they start at different positions, so they're not all in the back row. Still use Halting Ramba to take them down and stop them. At least give you a decent chance to stop them, still the same. So same method as before. If you can bring Life Siphon on your Super Soul Break or Burst Soul Break characters and not use their Soul Breaks before Tonberry King, I think that's ideal. There are not a lot of AoE physical options for Celerity 5 characters, and the Tonberries have super high resistance. So don't bring magic. It is worthless. 10,000 resistance, something ridiculous. So take what you can, kill them as quickly as possible. So once those 3, the second wave of 3 Tonberries, are defeated, the Tonberry King arrives. He does an AoE attack, which does not ignore defense, so you can buff up your party if you want to. His other attack, It's Sharp, which is a stabby attack, does damage based on, we think, this is all speculation at this point, no one seems to be able to confirm for sure, but we believe it does damage based on how you afflict Tonberries in phase 2 and 3 with the correct status ailment. So if you hit all 3 of them with stop in the first thing, that's going to help. If you hit them with the correct slow stun when they're weak to it, that's going to help, and he does less damage. If you save your Super Soul Breaks, Burst Soul Breaks until the final thing, you just spam him to death, and it's going to be fairly helpful. So I've not seen anyone figure out exactly what the key is, but you can get his It's Sharp damage down to like 2,222 or even 1,111 damage. So the team I brought, and there's lots of different teams, although I've not seen a lot of people on Slack chat. I think I've just seen one other person complete this. So not like the other Ultimates where 4 or 5 people did it in the first hour. So I brought Van, and Van has a BSB. I brought with Life Siphon and Temple Fury. I'm not sure if Temple Fury is the right move as opposed to Steal Time, but I thought Temple Fury did a little bit more damage, so take that. Lightning with a BSB, Life Siphon, and Dismissal. Zack with a regular Soul Break, the Aerial Strike with Power Chain and Full Charge. Locke with a Super Soul Break with Blade Blitz, and Thief's Revenge. And Tyrol with, I have all Tyro Soul Breaks, with Halting Rumba and Curaja. So I thought about maybe even using Tyro's Healing at one point. I did not, but I had enough Soul Break charges that I could have used his Medica, his Super Medica. But that's what I did, and it worked. It took me a few times to figure out what was going on. I don't generally look up things before I go into these battles, so it took me a few times to figure out what was going on, but once I got the trip with Halting Ramba and get the timing down, it was fairly easy, and I was able to Arc Blast my way to victory. That's insane, because I had a 3 full Soul Break gauge when I went into Tonberry King, so I just spammed Arc Blast and did like 90,000 damage in basically a turn and a half with Arc Blast, so that was pretty insane. But so that helps if you have that. Yeah. Yep. If you complete it, share it on Slack, share it on Twitter. Let us know, and if you found some other tips, I think Halting Ramba is kind of the MVP of this one. But if you find some other things,
definitely sounds doable. Isn't there a Samurai ability that gets stop?
Silence and Blind are the 2 Samurai abilities.
That's stop.
Yeah. But there are plenty of Soul Breaks, regular Soul Breaks that do stun, do slow, do stop. So if you have any of those Soul Breaks, on any celerity characters especially, you'll be in for a good chance to beat this.
Thanks.
So a lot of fun, and with it comes a lucky draw. If Ben, you want to take us through?
Yeah. I mean, the lucky draw. It's all 5-star celerity characters. Some highlights of this include Lightning, Locke, Titus, Van, Zidane. Lots of characters who have 5-star celerity also have pretty good burst soul breaks that include debuffing. I mean, just Zidane and Van come to mind. So definitely a good chance to get some pretty good super soul breaks and burst soul breaks. Obviously, all your Tyro relics are up for grabs. But I don't know. Nothing really jumps out at me. Any obscure characters that have 5-star celerity that you should look out for?
Fran, Leela, I don't. Yeah, pretty much. I think Arc Blast, Lightning's BSB, Sentinel Grimoire,
Stellar Circle 5.
Yeah. I mean, you're.
Razmataz.
Did either of you do this? Oh yeah, right. All Titus's.
I did. I got 0 out of 11, but it's whatever. It's 25 mithril. I'm not gonna.
I've not pulled on it. If you've been watching me on the stream, I have 24 mithril, so that's really more of the reason.
Did you have 1,000 Gishala greens to get that?
I did already get that. Yeah, I already did get the extra one. So.
Well, yeah.
I probably will not pull on it, seeing as I have most of those items that we just talked about. So.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'm not too mad about getting 0 out of 11, just because look at what relics I've gotten just the past 5 days. I've gotten the Defender for Leon. Gotten Organics. I've actually got a generic 12 spear gun gear, which uniquely has a small boost to fire damage, so I'm sure I can work that in somewhere. I just got another Seeker Shield. I already posted it on Twitter. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not too mad about it. Just kidding. I'm actually really mad.
Send all your hate mail to eTanks.
To me. It's okay. I have enough hate mail. But just kidding. I'm actually fine. So, yeah. Lots of cool stuff to be saving up your mithril for with the Keeper's Choice.
Yeah, we have. I mean, at some point we have guaranteed 5 stars. At some point, the other Dissidia event has some good ones. Yeah, we have a tactics event next, so that's going to have the things that people like. A lot of tactics relics people like. So, yep, we're going to keep getting some good events. So good relics. So make sure you're paying attention to what you're spending on, and at some point we'll have a double BSB event, right? So. There will be things to spend mithril on at some point. So.
Yep.
I think that can take us to our roundtable discussion for the evening, if Pierre's still alive and with us.
Yep, still around.
Hey, there you go. So we were just talking in Slack chat. It came up a couple days ago. Basically talking about, how important Orb Fest is. And here's the context. So for beating the Dissidia Ultimate Plus battle, we received 15 major orbs.
Nice.
4 summon, 4 lightning, and 7 black. So I did not receive 7 black orbs, 7 major black orbs, throughout the entire 4 days that I grinded on Phase 3, Power, Wind, and Black. And I spent some for stamina refreshes. I don't know how much I spent. I didn't have a ton of time to play it, but I did spend probably at least half a dozen mithril on stamina refreshes. I don't think I probably got 15 major orbs. Now, I got a lot of experience, and I got a lot of gold, and I got a lot of other orbs. I'm not complaining. But my question is, my roundtable discussion, was this just a fluke, the Ultimate Plus giving us 15 major summon orbs? Or is Orb Fest kind of nice but overrated, and these rewards are going to continue to increase where the major orbs are not as valuable as we think they are? So what do you guys think?
Here's my counter question. Now, you say you didn't get 7 black orbs. Let's say, just for discussion's sake, that you got 3. Okay, and all your grinding, you got 3 black orbs. Major black orbs. Now, I'm asking, what are the chances that you got 40 greater black orbs?
Well, probably...
Have you been tracking what you got?
No, I have not.
I always say I'm going to do it, and I never do. But I can tell you what I have. Maybe wind is a better thing if I can pull it up here, because I haven't spent any major black orbs or regular black orbs, so I have tons of black orbs. Of course, I'm getting an error on my game as I'm trying to do this.
Nice.
So I can't pull it up, but I didn't have a lot of wind orbs when I started this phase, and I think I have 3 major wind orbs, and I spent, how much is it for R2 Thieves' Revenge? 10?
So 12 maybe
12. So I think it was 10.
Yeah, 10.
So currently, and we just got like 6 major wind orbs from the Nightmare Dungeon. Currently I have 8 major wind orbs, and I think 6 of those we just got from the Nightmare Dungeon, and I have 166 regular greater wind orbs and 434 regular wind orbs. So that turns into be about maybe 20.
Yep.
So maybe I got about 20 if I didn't have any of those, which I probably did. It's hard to tell exactly. So, I probably ended up with more, obviously, more orbs if I sell them all and if I break them all down and everything else during the Orb Fest. But, it was also a lot more time, and it cost mithril, So, I guess maybe what I'm asking is this going to be the common, 15 major orbs for an Ultimate Plus? Or is this just a fluke? Was this just one time, and it's going to go back to 1 or 2?
I think it's
I guess
a fluke.
Maybe that's more of a... If I was playing in Japan, then I would know.
Yeah.
I think it's a fluke. I think when you look at what the normal events are giving you, it's nothing compared to what the Nightmare Dungeons are giving you, and then especially Sid missions. So... I think it just went lucky with that.
Yeah.
Ben?
I guess we will see. We will see.
Definitely. I've been saving up a fair amount of orbs. You know me, I always love crazy strategies. So right now I'm trying to save up orbs to hone full charge power chain to its full rank, but that's gonna
you can see if you're looking at the screen. You can see my black orbs.
Oh, that's why I said 12, because both power chain and full charge need 12 to hone to rank 2. Yeah, so that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, and I think it's 40 for Thief's Revenge to R3. That's the last thing I'm working on. So 40 wind orbs, and I'm not close to 40 yet. So it goes.
Yeah.
Should have spent more mithril. Should have canceled events, stayed at home, and played Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Where are your priorities?
I know. What can you do? Well, another question. I guess this kind of comes into Mailbag from. I guess I'll attribute this to Threats5. He's one of our Slack chatters. So Orb Fest is a great time to level characters, right? I don't know if you've been doing it for that, but it is, whether you acknowledge it or not. It is a great time to level characters. It's just wonderful experience. If you've been watching on the stream, that's what I've been doing currently. Or that's what I'm trying to do now. You see, right? Currently, I'm leveling. I have 3 people, so I bring a party of 3. They all have the XP boosting record material, and I have Beatrix, Bartz, and Agrius, and those are my last 3 Super Soul Break holders that aren't level 80. So I'm trying to get all my Super Soul Break characters up to level 80. So I guess the question from Threats threw out there was, what's your count? What's your character level count? What's it look like? How many of your characters are this, that, or the other thing? If you look, and I guess how important is leveling for you, and what's kind of your technique? So I'll give you my rundown of my characters and their level. I have 27 characters at level 80. 13 between level 67 and 79. 37 at level 65 or at level 67. So a whole bunch at level 65 or 67, obviously just broken twice. And a lot of those I've done during Orb Fest. And then I have 23 still at level 1. So all the core classes.
So for me, I think generally I only level up characters if I've pulled something for them, and even then, like I've had Realm's Cat Ear Hood for a while, but I just haven't bothered with her. Pretty much any character who has a Burst Soul Rake is at level 80 for me, just to max out the stats. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy right now with my party. It's kind of like grounding out in terms of I finally have healers now with Burst Soul Breaks in the form of Garnet. But yeah, in terms of leveling, I'm probably not as diligent as I should be. I kind of like, I'm not as much of a completionist as I should be. But if there's like a really good record materia that I want, then I'll grind a character like Sid or Porum, or was it Palom? Anyway, yeah, but I don't really go out of my way to like make sure every character is leveled for just that one occasion. It's like, if I pull a good relic for them, then I'll handle it then.
All right, I'm going through my list right now, trying to get the numbers same as what Mark did. So let's see. I have 18 characters that are level 80, I mean. 21 characters that are between level 78 and 67. 12 characters that are between 66 and 65. And then a whole bunch of schmucks under that, for a total of 129 characters. So usually I'm not too big on the daily dungeons, except on Sundays where I try to level them. I've been trying to get a couple of characters past 65 and 50 during the Orb Fest. Obviously, with all the great XP it's been given, it was a great opportunity to get certain characters, especially like you guys said, those with Super Soul Breaks, up a couple levels, and especially to 80 if possible. But has been said, I am definitely not a completionist. I don't have the luxury of time to go there, so I stopped giving myself the pressure to get to that level. But I wish we'd have more Orb Fests, or at least XP Fests, than Sundays.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, do you want to hear what Threats count was? I asked him.
Yeah, I would love to.
Because he had more than anybody, and I'll tell you one of the reasons for that. So Threats5 on Slack chat, he's a great guy. He's on Twitter too. 47 level 80 characters.
Ouch.
47. 16 at level 75. 2 at level 71, 7 at level 65, and 4 in their 50s.
Nice.
That's pretty decent.
I didn't ask him what he's doing for stamina refreshes during Orb Fest, but he's trying to get everybody up over 75. That's his goal during Orb Fest. But he said he spent about $3 every Sunday on stamina refreshes to level characters.
I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money, but it's just levels. All right, whatever.
Yeah, but it's the XP gain in any other dungeon is irrelevant.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Unless
the Sundays and Orb Fest are really the only time you should grind for XP, and it makes a big difference. I mean, I've leveled a lot of characters during this Orb Fest already, and I've brought a lot of characters up from level 1 to level 65. I mean,
like your Final Fantasy 2 characters?
Yeah, like several, I think 3 or 4 Final Fantasy 2 characters have leveled up. I got bored of doing that, so that's why I'm bringing characters up to level 80 right now. And I've done that several times. So, but yeah, I think all of your utility soul breaks, your super soul breaks, your burst soul breaks. There's no reason for them not to be close to 80 or level 80. Obviously, if you want to do Sid missions, you need at least a team from every realm at level 65, I would say. But you get closer to 80, the better you're going to end off, especially with HP and stuff. So, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. There was a lot of comparing and contrasting and good fun on Slack chat this week. So I think we had a good time doing that. And we got into other things, how many burst soul breaks we had, how many super soul break relics we had. So, there was a lot, all in good fun. So nobody was putting anybody down, but a good community of people there. We had a lot of fun with that. So. Yep, so that completes the mailbag or the roundtable, and we can head to news from Japan, I guess. See what Australian Derek has to say about the
from
game.
the future.
So before we get actually,
yeah, go ahead then.
Off the schedule. Before we get to news from Japan, how about we go to news from Japan? In that, did any of you see the closing ceremonies for the Olympics?
Oh, are you kidding me? In like the 5 minutes that Japan had the floor in the closing ceremonies, it was better than everything else Rio had done.
Freaking Prime Minister
he warped through a Mario tube.
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe came out as Mario for handing over the flag. Oh my god, you guys. I'm going to Tokyo 2020. It's gonna it's gonna be crazy.
Japan brought it. I mean, the Brazilians, God bless them. They're singing, they're dancing.
Oh yeah, honestly,
I'm sure that was a lot of fun if you were there. It was kind of boring to watch, very truthfully, in my opinion.
Like, oh my god,
Japan the gauntlet.
How are you gonna top that? It's like, oh my god. I'm sorry, I just needed to.
Yeah,
how excited I am for an event that's happening for years.
Yeah. But I 100% concur. That last little bit from Japan was far more interesting than anything else.
I was yelling.
In closing ceremonies.
All right. So
just
now,
for the record, I'm smiling and nodding in front of my microphone, trying to pretend I know what the hell's happening right now.
You should really be more up to date with, your Olympics news now that the Olympics are over.
You see, Pierre, at the end of every Olympics, the host nation passes off the torch to the future host nation. So they have a little
flag.
Yes,
pass the flag, not the torch.
Yes. Not the torch, the cup or whatever, the Olympic something. Yeah. Anyway, that was just figuratively passing the torch, not literally. I know it's the Olympics.
Right.
Literally torch, yes. Figuratively passing the torch. Yeah, so in like the 10 minutes Japan had to show us what we were in store for 4 years from now, they like blew the roof off Brazil.
Yeah, freaking Doraemon.
The hours Brazil had before that, and the even opening ceremonies Brazil, lots of singing, lots of dancing, what wonderful cultural things. I'm not putting down Rio or Brazil. It's a beautiful place. I love singing and dancing as much as anyone. I'm sure if you were there, it was a huge, great party, a lot of fun. Kind of watching it on TV was like watching the same thing on America's Got Talent or Canada's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, whatever you watch, or Japan's Got Talent, over and over and over again without some comedian or without some magician to kind of break it up a little bit. So, Japan really brought it.
Ben,
right.
speaking of staying on top of my Olympic news, what happened with those athletes that got robbed by fake police? Oh no, wait, they made it up. That's true.
What are you claiming that I have some kind of personal stake in the men's U.S. swimming team? And that's like it's dumb. But
No,
like...
I'm just trying to show that I kind of do stay on top of Olympic news, just not
yeah.
the important one.
No, yeah. All right. All right. Anyway, moving on from news from Japan. Let's go to news from Japan.
As Americans, we have the right
because we won
to get drunk, pee on your gas station, break down a door, and lie about paying you off, and you holding us up at gunpoint. That's our rights. We got all the medals. That's how it works. No, yeah, that guy's a douchebag. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can anybody spell carrier is over for him?
Yeah, well.
Oh yeah, no, it is. All four of his sponsors dropped him, and they should have. It's ridiculous. Why lie about it? Yeah, you're 19 or whatever he is. Yeah, you get drunk, you do stupid things. So yeah, you pay for it. You say you're sorry, and you get down. He hasn't said he's sorry once. I mean,
my only point in this: we're in 2016. Even in Rio, why the hell weren't they aware that they were being filmed in some kind of way, and this would come back and bite them up the arse?
Pierre, have you been watching the news from the United States in our presidential election? Because none of our politicians seem to understand that either.
All right, so. let's all just calm down. Remember what this podcast is about. Let's all move to Australian
Sports, Olympic, and Pokemon
Go. Fine, talk about Pokemon Go, you guys. It's better than what we're going on about.
All right, a little respect for Derek and FFRK news from the future, brought to you in the past. Quick one this week. How do you cope with 0-11 Relic draws? That's his question, which we totally missed in the mailbag. So, guys, how do you cope with 0-11 Relic draws?
I mean... I haven't had
4 or 5 more times.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I had to deal. It's easier to deal with them, obviously, in the nightmare ones because you're only spending half the resources. But it still stinks. But you can't let the gambler's fallacy take a hold of you. You just gotta cut your losses. Say, well, maybe next banner. You gotta.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Yeah, since I started the basics account, which I'm really not playing at the moment, but I kept track of the relic draws, obviously, because they were all recorded. And I realized pretty much 13, 14, 15% of the time I was getting a 5-star. So if I got a 0 for 11, then the next time I figured, hey, I might get 2 for 11, or, then a 3 for 11. And then, yeah, I might get 0 for 11. But I know kind of statistically I am going to fall where I need to fall. So, yeah, I really don't worry about it. Yeah, it kind of sucks to have 0 5-stars. But at the same time, I know that statistically over the course of a long time of playing the game, it does even out. And eventually you're going to be guaranteed. And so you're going to be upset if you only get 1, right? Or if you get 1 that's not very good. And so then we'll find something else to complain about. So I don't worry about it too much. I don't worry about it too much.
All right. Now, for real this time, GP Week in Review. Launch of Final Fantasy Tactic Event, The Swordsman That Writes, The War-Torn World, or whatever. Introduction of Orlando Bloom. Oh no, sorry, that's Orlando. This broken abomination joins the party at level 50. What?
Yeah.
Okay. This broken abomination joins the party at level 50. So that's something.
So not only is he completely broken because he has like all of the jobs at 5-star, he actually starts at level 50 when you recruit him.
Yeah, let me read that. So he says, "This broken abomination."
Is this like the boss?
Let me finish that sentence real quick.
All right.
Gets instant MC1, MC2, and MC3 access, and sports Spellblade 5, Combat 5. Celerity 5, Night 5, Samurai 5, and Darkness 4. Now, who the hell's Orlando? What the heck?
Isn't he the guy who's like, draw your sword, Ramza? I think he got one really hard boss, Orlando.
Yeah, it's been way too long since I played Final Fantasy Tactics, and I'm not a big fan of it. So
or is he like a general on your?
No,
he's the guy. Wait, is he?
Apparently, he's the most powerful character in the game.
Yeah, no, he's a unit that you can use, I believe. Yes, yeah, you use him. He's not the draw your sword, Ramza, because that guy's a dick. But no, yeah, he's a parrot. But I just searched Orlando Final Fantasy Tactics, and the first thread that showed up on GameFAQs was Orlando isn't broken in all caps. So because GameFAQs is saying it, the opposite must be true.
Ouch. So that's a new thing. Bringing in characters at levels 50. What else? Introduction of Gaff Guardian, Spellblade 4, Combat 5, Night 4, and Darkness 5. Orlando Overflow Soulbreak released, very powerful with some interesting mechanic interactions. New Burst Soulbreak for Orlando, Gaff or Gagarian something, and Delicia. And new mechanics 5. Ability rapid fires 10 times 0.35 random single target range physical damage. So a little bit like what's his face, Irvine, unique soul break, I guess. Abyss dungeons open again. These are what we call in Global Nightmare dungeons. He says access to new dungeon to win combat 6 star ability Omega Drive. With the release of the final and 12th dungeon, they are now open permanently, no more intermittent recurring access. Abyss Combat Lucky banner added, full price only, usual. Abyss Pickup banner added, full price, a few dated burst soul break, over a dozen super soul break, appears to be a trap. Fragment dungeons open again. These are Moat's dungeon, if I'm correct. And he says that's it for this week. An exciting time to be playing the GP version with a lot of recent development, with many more exciting ones coming over the next month to be sure. Keep up the good work and keep saving those mithrils. So, slow week, I guess. Nothing major, and a very weird character, solely broken-headed.
I can't wait for my Onion Knight Orlando party. I've loved those guys since day one, since I was a little boy playing Final. I wasn't little. When I was an elementary school child playing Final Fantasy on my Nintendo, I thought, man, someday if only I can play a game where Orlando and Onion Knight are playable characters and can be just the MVP of my parties, like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Then yes, I'll live a happy life. But until then,
well, all your dreams are about to come true. So,
yep. And
I guess that's it for us. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call this a wrap?
I've officially dropped both Brave Expius and Mobius. Oh. Record Keeper is now my best friend.
Again.
Yeah.
You're not playing Mobius and grinding, killing giant turtles 100 times in a row for no reason?
The game just
that's super fun.
The game isn't fun. And going into college, I need to be wasting my time on games that are actually fun.
I'm sorry, how's Overwatch doing?
Overwatch is fun. Dude, have you been following the ARG right now? On there's this new character, Sombra, who's about to be announced. It's crazy.
I understood like a word that you said.
I was about to say the same thing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, do you know what an ARG is?
I know what the letter A
There
means.
are letters?
Well, okay, it's an alternate reality game, which is essentially like hiding clues all around social media and inside like the scripts of websites, because the character is like a hacker. So it makes sense. It's like, who's gonna find out what Sombra is, or like what they look like first? You don't know. So it's been this whole shenanigans that have been going on for like a week. and there was this countdown, but the countdown finished and nothing happened, so people are scrambling to find out what's going on. So it's very amusing, but Overwatch is still fun. I've been able to actually play with some friends, which is really, really fun. But yeah, I guess that's it.
That sounds great, Ben. Game. So until next time.
What? Wow, dude, just shut me down. You're the ones who asked.
I didn't ask.
Well, the collective asked.
The people wanted to know.
Clearly.
Sounds good. It's very interesting. Yes.
Great. Thanks.
I'm just uncomfortable being...
Take us out of here.
See, Nep knows what I'm talking about. Thank you. The chat
take us out of
here. Chat backs.
All right, that was our show for this week. As usual, you can contact us. The easiest way would be on the great FFRK Slack chat, which Mark talked about a couple times during the show. You're welcome to join us. It's a great community. For more information, head to ffrkcentral.com/ffrkchat, and almost instant access will be waiting for you there. We've got a channel for global, channel for the Japanese version, channel for normal yakking, and all of that. Other than that, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, hate mail for Ben, or anything like that, you can send them.
Why do you think people would hate me?
We don't. It's just that you specifically asked for hate mail earlier.
No,
Just kidding. Okay, hate mail for Pierre. There we go. Anything about my accent or the fact that I still have a cold and I probably sound even worse than usual. You can send those to ffrkcentral@gmail.com. I forward all and every email I receive to my co-host, so don't be shy. Send anything you have there. Other than that, I can be reached on Twitter at ffrkcentral. Ben can be reached out at
eTank88 on Twitter, where you can see two pretty much identical pictures of me getting a Seeker's Shield. Also, cute pictures of my dog.
And you can reach Mark at.
Do you get to take your dog to college?
No, but she's going to be way bigger when I come back.
It's true. That will happen. You can reach me at Rev Mark Myers on Twitter or at RevHP on Slack chat. You can catch up with me on YouTube at my YouTube channel, RevHP, or search Final Fantasy Record Keeper Basics, FFRK Basics. The last episode 27 of Basics, was talking about buffs and debuff stacking, so hope that helps, and I may go into jobs after that. So love to hear from people on Slack, and hey, yeah, email us if you got discussion questions, mailbag questions, topics you want us to throw around. Love to have that kind of stuff. So keep them coming.
All right, so that was our show for this week. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Wednesday at around 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch or on your mobile device or preferred podcast playing device whenever you get around to it. Thank you. Have a good one.